Hi, welcome to the Computer Workshop. I'm David Williams, Vice President, and in this month's Employee Spotlight, I'm joined by Evan Hively.
Hey guys,
How you doing, Evan?
doing great. How about yourself, David?
I'm hanging in there.
Awesome, good to hear it.
Thanks for taking time to sit down with us and carve a little bit out of your schedule to tell us about yourself and get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So how long have you been with the Computer Workshop?
So I'm definitely one of the newer guys, especially on the instructor team. I got started in August of 2022, I believe. However, I remember getting in here was a little bit of a task. The interview process is a rigorous one, let me tell you.
We don't put you through too much of a ringer.
Oh, no. Trust me, it was perfectly fine. I had a good time. I got to know you really well along the way.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure on both ends. Speaking of which, so we're going to jump into one of your embarrassing moments, which I know came kind of early in your career here at TCW.
First day, in fact. Was not prepared at all. So, started with you, actually. So what ended up happening, first day of orientation, I come walking in, David's, being absolutely awesome. He's introducing me to everybody, and he introduces me to this wonderful lady named Thelma. I'm like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I'm thinking, oh, she must be part of the sales team or something. No, it's the president. So, yeah, left that one going, well, I should have definitely introduced myself a little bit more suavely or something.
Oh, so we honestly did not set you up for failure on purpose. That was not the intent, but
I hope I left a good impression.
I'm sure you did. Obviously you did. You're still here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Didn't get booted on first day. Glad to hear it.
So Evan, what is it that you do with the Computer Workshop?
So I am part of the instructor team. So the instructor team, obviously our job is we go in and we help to build up our students' skill set. And I kind of more am lean toward the Microsoft application field. So looking at more things like Excel, things like that, right? That's definitely more my area of expertise at this time.
Awesome. So what about your role in capacity of trainer here at the Computer Workshop makes you a really proud member of the team?
Oh, man. So really it comes down to being able to provide something to the student. So I can't tell you how many times, we'll have someone who's been in construction for 30 years that comes in and is like, hey, I'm kind of getting a little bit later in life. I'm looking to retire in the next couple of years. I think I just want to really settle down, take it a little bit slower. I'm looking at doing a desk job now, and so they want to get more skills under their belt, right? That's the phrasing. Something like that. Something like that. So, and it's just nice to be able to give them that opportunity where before, they may have been a little bit weary, but now I can go hey, no, it's an easy process. Let me just get you started nice and slow, and by the end of this, you're going to be right as rain. I love being able to give that people opportunity, or just somebody who's looking to transition into a new skill set, right?
Right.
Or they're, someone who is, looking to, get restarted in their education or something, being able to give somebody new opportunities is amazing.
Yeah.
And being a part of that process is amazing.
It is. It's I think what makes our life fun. Being in that classroom, watching the light bulbs go off, and know that you're truly making a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
People,
absolutely.
There's nothing better than that, in my opinion, our opinion. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's
why I hope that's how we feel. This is how we do. This is what we do.
This is what we do. Right?
If we don't feel that way, we're not in the right business.
We're in the wrong spot. So that's great. I appreciate the insight into what you do here and bring into the team, and we truly do value you and appreciate you there. Tell us a little bit about what you might enjoy doing in your time off when you're not in the classroom or in front of a group here at the Computer Workshop.
Absolutely. So the way I like to phrase it is I'm very into escapism. Who isn't? But I'm a very big fantasy nerd. So I love I love watching my shows. But I love reading. I really love reading. If you go into my office, my walls are covered in shelves of books. I'm running out of space. It's a problem. Really big into reading and book collecting. I'm really into tabletop gaming, so Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a player and I'm a dungeon master, so I work both sides of the table a little bit. And I'm also really big into whiskey. I love whiskey. I'm pretty big at collecting whiskey as well. Usually, if anyone's looking for a gift from me, the go-to is either a bottle of whiskey or a book.
Finding that rare bottle or finding the rare book. Huh?
Yeah. I was actually just in California, in this area of Ohio. You can't get Buffalo Trace anywhere. You can go to a restaurant and get it because they're part of the distribution process, but you can't find it at any store. It's a rare find. I was just in California, picked up myself a bottle of Buffalo Trace, which isn't that expensive, but it's rare to find in this area.
Cool, awesome, nice snack. So you were talking about books, and what's a maybe favorite genre of book? Do you have one that you lean towards, or do you kind of enjoy a big variety?
So when it comes to books, I would say my primary is fantasy. There are a couple things here and there that have some exceptions. One of my favorite books growing up was How I Paid for College. Obviously not a fantasy book. If you're paying for college in a fantasy world, that's not part of my escapism there. But no, fantasy is definitely my big go-to. I read a lot of fantasy. Right now I'm reading a series called The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne. It's a fantastic quartet. I'm on the last book. I'm really itching to see what happens. But yeah, fantasy is my primary. Urban fantasy would probably be my next go-to. Urban fantasy, more of that you're in the real. I think Buffy. Like Buffy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like real world, but has magic
But
or
has
supernatural,
little
right?
Something. Okay.
Exactly. Something a little bit more to relate to because it's in modern day setting, right?
Gotcha.
Harlequin Chronicles, Dresden Files. Those are very good urban fantasies, in my opinion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So now, as far as your personal who you are, do you have any quotes or mantras or things that you live by or that kind of drive you?
Absolutely. So 2 of them. So real quick, actually, I forgot to mention this in my hobbies. I'm really big into working out, specifically functional fitness and powerlifting. And the reason I bring that up is because early on when I got started, I started with P90X. That was one of my first go-to workouts. And Tony Horton, the guy who runs it, the thing he always says is just show up, do your best, and forget the rest. And that is a quote that I live by day to day. Everyone is different. I myself, I'm dyslexic. I'm ADHD. Sometimes reading, which funny enough, for someone who loves reading books, it's tough, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it, right? Everyone has their own stuff that they go through. Everyone has their own pace that they have. But that doesn't mean they can't reach an end goal. Going into a workout, if you are just getting started working out, if you showed up, and even if you ran 5 feet, you showed up and ran that 5 feet. You may not get there in the next week, but progressively you're going to get better. Showing up, do your best, forget the rest. Don't compare yourself to others. I know, we especially grew up in an era where, we were told, go to school, go to college, get the job, get married. Yeah, compete, exactly. We had that expectation. And sometimes it's hard to beat around the bush on that, but everyone's different. Harrison Ford didn't become an actor until he was in his mid-30s. Morgan Freeman was 50, right? Success is not in the immediate. It's not specifically laid out. It's not tailored. Everyone is different. And in that same vein, my other favorite quote that was told to me by a friend of mine. Everyone has a right to complain, but no one has a right to compare. Because everyone's fight along the way is different. Mm-hmm. Everyone has something different that they have to go through, So those are the 2 quotes that I personally like to live by. Everyone has a right to complain, but no one has a right to compare. And do your best, forget the rest. Well, show up, do your best, forget the rest.
Awesome. Those are great reminders and something I think everybody could definitely apply into their day to day. So final thought here, question to leave the audience. Is anything you wanted to share or leave with our folks today?
Honestly, I think I could lean it right back into those quotes. Just don't give up and don't hold yourself to someone else's standard. Hold yourself to your own standards. Just always try to be better than you were yesterday. Get that new skill set. Get that new book done. If there's a goal you have, get to it. Just make sure you're always taking the steps to do so. If it is a little bit slower, that's okay. But just make sure you're always trying to take that extra step, and don't be afraid to jump into something new. Don't be afraid to take on that new skill or that new opportunity, because sometimes those only come every once in a while and you may not see it again. just never give up and don't hold yourself to someone else's standard. Hold yourself to yourself.
Awesome. And in his next venture will be motivational speaking.
Oh, thank you.
Evan, I appreciate you sitting down with us today. This was fantastic. Really enjoyed learning a lot more about you than what I already knew. So I learned a lot of new stuff today. Hopefully you guys got a little bit more info on Evan and what he brings into our team. And hopefully you're able to see him in the classroom. So be sure to check out our website, www.tcworkshop.com. You can find all of Evan's classes on there. Jump into some Excel, Power BI, Word, Outlook. So do check us out there. Also be sure to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. A lot of great videos for free, good content there. Every Friday, a new video will drop with great tips and tricks that you're sure to be able to apply right away. So thanks again, everybody. Thanks, Evan. And we'll catch you later.